Hello, hello. Welcome to this episode of The Creative Pause. My name is Susan Padron, and I am here with my co-host, who I will allow to introduce herself.
Hello, I'm Stacey Fay. It's so good to be with you today on The Creative Pause. We're in season 2, which is very exciting. And our purpose, as always, is just to provide you a moment of calm in your day and creativity and inspiration and connectivity. Hopefully, in the words we share today and the stories we hear, you'll resonate with them, and it'll provide some sense of happiness for your day. So we always start each episode with a question. And if you've watched season 1, you know that our question was, how are you doing? Because we were navigating the more intense time of the pandemic, and a lot of people were really struggling with that moment to moment. But now as we're moving into a different time frame where a lot of places are opening up more, and it's sort of a different phase of it, we're dealing with a different question. And so our question today is, what is inspiring you lately? So I'll answer that. Susan will as well. And our guest today, Alisha, will answer it also. And we encourage you at home to write down your answer or just think about what might be inspiring you these days, either personally or maybe what you're seeing out there in the world. And so I'll start. Me personally, I'm being inspired lately by some of the designs I'm coming up with for my jewelry. So I'm a jeweler, and my business was on hold for pretty much the whole 3 months that we were on complete lockdown in the pandemic. And I couldn't really make any of my handmade pieces because my team wasn't able to work. But now that we're starting to open up again, I'm starting to think creatively again about what I might want to be doing with my business. And one of the things I've been working on, which has me really pretty excited, is are some signet rings that I'm getting engraved and getting hand engraved with someone I work with in Philadelphia. And I have 3 different signets I'm working on for myself, actually, because I'm sort of trying to create some mantra pieces for myself in this time. And one of those signet rings says mama, because I just became a mother of a newborn, my second child. I have another signet ring I'm coming out with for myself that's their 2 initials, so my kids' 2 initials with a little lightning bolt in the center, because my son's middle name is Bowie, for David Bowie. And then I have a 3rd ring, actually, which is going to sort of be my pandemic ring. So one side of the ring, because it's a very thin ring, so one side is engraved with the term wabi-sabi, which is a Japanese term for finding beauty in imperfection and beauty in this sort of ever-changing day-to-day-ness that we're in. And the other side has a wheat sheaf. So the idea of separating the wheat from the chaff and really focusing right now on what my values are and what matters most to me. So anyway, I'm kind of excited about those because it's the first time I've created in 3 months. And it's also, they represent kind of mantra pieces for me. So it's keeping me pretty inspired these past few days. But Susan, what's inspiring you?
Well, I have to say that I've been seeing like little sneak peeks of your signet ring, Stacey, on your Instagram feed, and I am loving all of them. I'm like, ooh, what would I get? Like, what am I gonna get on mine? Because like I need one. They're so pretty, especially the one with your kids' initials and little lightning bolt. It's like, ugh. Like, if for those of you that don't know, Stacey's like the coolest mom ever. She puts like the rest of us to shame because she's just so freaking cool.
Yeah, my head over here. You can't see it on the recording. Or you won't see it on the recording, but thank you, Susan.
You're welcome. It's true. So what's inspiring me right now, or lately? I think the word of transformation has been a word that's really been sticking with me and just kind of like traveling with me lately, whether it's about myself or with other people or what's just happening in the world. I feel like there's so much of this like big transformation that's occurring, and that has been inspiring on a lot of different levels. On the smaller, like more intimate setting, like the transformation that I get to see with the clients that I work with, coming out of this, they're, I guess, not even coming out of this time that we're in, because we're not really coming out of it yet. We're still kind of like in it, but not, I don't know, in this like limbo period of being out of lockdown, quarantine. But the place that we're in with it right now, I'm starting to have clients reach out to me and because they want to start making changes because they've had major life changes. I've had a few clients that are like, look, I'm getting a divorce and I am ready to just transform myself, my life, my house. Like they're just ready to move forward and become this like new person or this person that they always wanted to be. Um, and for myself, I definitely feel like I'm in that process of a different kind of transformation too, and like I've been doing a lot of inward reflecting on just what the last few months have meant, what I want to take with me, what I want to leave behind, and like who I am now, because like everybody's different, you know, um, or everybody's changing. Everything is changing. Um, so yeah, the concept of transformation, just like being able to experience it and witness it just in so many different ways has been really inspiring me right now. But Alisha, what about you?
Hi. So I think I've been using like a lot of things. A lot of things have been inspiring me. One, I love music. I've been thinking about ways to incorporate everyday things that bring me joy, things that keep my vibrations high, and because it's not um, hard to fall into a place with everything that's going on. It's not hard to fall into a place where you're not inspired, you're not creating, your emotions get the best of you. I was speaking to you guys earlier and I said I'm a mom of three, and I was doing a lot of reflecting myself, and I'm like, wow, I did a really good job these past 3 months being in quarantine, and just being really gracious with myself. Definitely doing a lot of reflecting, and one of the topics that I talked about a lot this week was fear, and what fear does, how it stops you from investing in your personal development, living your dreams, just being, living and walking confidently in your purpose. And just thinking back to the time that I did live in fear, and writing those things down and reminding myself, okay, this is where I've healed from and grown from, and this is what I'm going to do every day so that I don't go back there, because I know what both feel like. I know what it feels like to be on one side of healing, and I know what it feels like now to be on the other side of healing, and I love this feeling. So then comes the term of, like I said, joy. What can I do every day that's going to bring me joy, that's going to not waver depending on the circumstances. And right now we're in some really, unpredictable circumstances. So joy is really big. Joy is really big. Um, what can I do to have these things no matter what the circumstances are? These are things that I'm gonna feel, I'm gonna cherish, I'm gonna value no matter what, no matter if COVID rises again, no matter if my sales go down in my business, no matter, what happens around me, I'm gonna choose joy every day. So I've just been using like a lot of things. Like I said, music. I love Beyonce. I definitely have to listen to a little bit of Beyonce when I really don't feel like getting on the treadmill and walking and working out. I'm just like, I have to act like my hair's blowing in the wind, and that brings me joy. Like because for me, that's a reminder of what I'm working towards, and the woman that I can be and who I'm destined to be. Um, I am, we're slowly, I'm here in New York now, and we're slowly coming out. We're going into like phase 3, but I've been making it my business to go outside every day. And I don't know if it's because I haven't been outside too much in the past 3 months, but I just feel like so alive, just being grateful, also practicing gratitude every day, making sure that as soon as I open my eyes, that's something that I've been doing. Like as soon as I open my eyes and I can look out the window and I can see the sunlight. That's a blessing. I thank God for that. And I go outside and just holding on to the little things that we take for granted, and just reminding myself that as I consider myself like very high functioning, very high achieving, but remembering what success, really is. And it's like 95% mindset and then 5% work, right? And so it's like what really makes you successful, those things are free. Those things are free, and we should cherish that. So those are things that have been inspiring me and keeping me like upbeat so that I can create. I can be, a mom. I can be, who I need to be to my children. I can be who I need to be to my husband. I can be a servant leader. I can be who I need to be to other people, to help other people, because I deeply believe in that. I've been doing a lot of just, anybody that I said they had to catch me now before I get really busy, but anybody that, calls on me and they need advice or they need help as far as entrepreneurship or anything that they're doing, I make time for that because I deeply believe in, I just said it. Sorry, I got mommy brain right now. Servant leadership. Who can I serve? Who can I help? Right? Because we've all been in that place, especially as women, where whether it was in business, whether it was in motherhood, no matter where you were, we've all been in that place where, how further could we be now? Or we've all been in a place where if somebody would have just came along and helped me or gave me some information or gave me a chance, so I always think about that, and I'm always looking to see how can I serve, and that really inspires me as well, being able to, and it's a blessing, I think, to be able to help somebody go from one level to another.
Yeah. Wow. Yes. Yes, all of that. Alisha, when you're talking about making a point to go outside and being, experiencing gratitude and joy, those are some really beautiful moments that, Stacey and I have talked about a lot on this show too, over the past several months. And, our need to just be outside and experience nature and experience sunlight and just being grateful for the fact that you're outside experiencing the day. There's a day to experience and nature to take in, or sunlight to take in, and finding joy, seeking joy in every day is another big reason why we started this show, which I love that you're taking that and, obviously not from watching our show, you're doing it on your own, but, taking that and incorporating it in your life too. It's something that I think so many people really just need to make the time, make the effort to focus and find their joy, no matter if it's a big joy or a little joy.
Yeah, I think that it wasn't too long ago, a few years ago, I'm like, I didn't know the difference between happiness and joy. But then when I found out, I just, I choose it every day because what people don't realize is that we're all different. We have different personalities. We go through different things, but life is not different. Life is life. Things happen. Things change. One day COVID wasn't here, and then the next day it's like, oh, everybody has to clear out and you have to work from home and you have to be your kid's teacher. So things change rapidly. So how do you stay stable in that? And that's finding joy.
So I know that you listen to Beyonce, kind of get you hyped and ready to, motivated to work out or just help you cheer yourself up. And it's great because one of our guests that we recorded an episode with just a few days ago, her quote that she chose to share with us for her episode was a Beyonce quote. So it's all right, it's so funny. We just, and Stacey, I'm sure can attest to this too, that we always end up having these like fun, like organic threads between guests that we have, like whenever we're recording a few episodes. It's like there just seem to be these like little trends that just happen even before we've published or released the episode. It just occurs. And I mean, like, who doesn't love Beyonce? But still, it's still like a cool little trend that happens. So speaking of, oh, sorry, Stacey, you're gonna say something.
No, go ahead. I know you're going to transition to the quote. I was quickly just going to say though, like fear too, right? The last 2 episodes, we've done 3 back-to-back episodes, and the last 2 people have also talked about letting go of fear, and that being kind of the phase we're all in. I think it's amazing because it's where we need to be. So anyway, I'll let you get to the quote, Susan.
Thanks. Yeah, you're totally right. I was thinking about fear being another common thread too, and I forgot to get distracted by Beyonce, which is, you know, not unusual, but that's okay. All right, so I'm going to share my screen so that I can pull up the quote that Alisha shared with us. And her quote is, "Be flexible about the road taken, never about the destination." And I think it's a great mindset. And I would love to hear from you, Alisha, you know, why you chose this quote and what really about it resonates with you.
That's actually a quote by myself. It's a part of my brand, and it's more so about purpose. I think that especially as women, we like to plan, like, you know, we've and as moms, and talking to all the moms out there, like, if we're not organized, like, we'll lose our heads. And I think that a lot of people, the thing about life is that I want to say, and I'm being like generous, like 90% of the time, things don't go the way that you plan, but that doesn't mean that the destination changes, right? You have to be flexible about how you get to your purpose. You have to be open to different doors, and that goes into, which I'll speak a little bit about later on, is having a spiritual connection. I am a Christian woman, so of course I make sure that I pray. I pray like all the time, but I'm really big on like morning routine, and that's my time to, you know, pray and meditate and connect with my higher source. And it's just like, I think that as people, and I'm guilty of it, is like we think that we know everything, but we really don't know anything at all. And it's like, you have to be open and you have to be flexible about how you maneuver in your purpose. It's like, okay, well, and it discourages people. I've known, like I said, speaking for myself, everything that I say, I've 9 times out of 10 I've been through, and I remember myself sitting on the bed and crying or just feeling defeated because things didn't go the way that I planned. But as I got more mature as an entrepreneur, as I got more mature as a mom, as a wife, just as a mother, period, I just realized, like, that's life. I was telling you earlier, like, that's life. That doesn't mean that I'm not supposed to be a business owner. I'm not supposed to have these things. Like, no, I'm operating in my purpose. It's just that, you know, I went left, and maybe I have to make a U-turn, or maybe I have to make a right to get to where it is that I'm going. That doesn't mean that I'm not supposed to go there or I'm not supposed to be there. It's just that things happen. And I know that you guys spoke a little bit about fear. That's one of the things that builds up fear in people. It's like, okay, I tried this one time and it didn't work, I'm going to leave this alone. It's like, no, or maybe you have to tweak some things a little bit, or maybe you have to go back and think about what works. It's for me, I never fail. I just learn. And a no is not a no. And for me, a no is, it's not right now. Maybe it's not my time right now. Or maybe no, I'm not supposed to be doing that. But what I've noticed in investing in my own personal development, and then being interested in how other people's minds work in other people's personal development, is that it builds up a fear. People are fearful of trying. people are fearful of falling down and failing because they feel like if it doesn't work out this one time, that means that the destination is wrong. And that's where that saying comes from. It's like, you have to, in order to be successful in any area of your life, you have to be flexible about, the road that you take. You may be dead set on going right, but you actually really have to go left to get to where it is that it is that you're going. So be flexible about that, but be determined, be confident, and know that this is where I need to go and decide, make a decision that I'm going to do everything that's aligned with me getting to where it is that I'm going to go. But be flexible about how you get there.
Yeah, I think the older that I get, the more confident I've become in understanding that all of the different paths that I've taken have all been supportive of where I'm going, even if it doesn't seem like it at the time. Like whichever direction I'm going in, at one point it may be like, well, why did I do that? That seemed like a waste of time. Like, why did I have that job? Like, I'm not using that now. But then being able to reflect back on that, it's like, oh my gosh, well, if I didn't have that job, if this thing didn't happen, or if that thing didn't happen, then it wouldn't be able to support where I am, what I'm doing now. And that's where, yeah, I think you're so right, how you can get caught up in, sometimes I think people can get caught up in the road that they're taking and the direction that they're going, when really they need to just be like, okay, whatever needs to happen is going to happen. And what I can't be flexible about, though, is where I want to end up, like what's happening at the end of all of this.
Yeah, I agree. It's speaking as someone who has perfectionist, rigid tendencies, I've understood over time as I get older too, that rigidity doesn't foster creativity. It doesn't foster most times anything good. You have to be flexible of mindset and of pathways in order to sort of reach where you want to go. And yeah, Susan and I'm not sure, Alisha, your overall trajectory over your 36 years, but for Susan and I, we worked at nonprofit, or Susan was a teacher. I worked for a nonprofit. We did things totally unrelated to what we're doing now on the surface, but yet it all laid the foundation for where we're at. And I know for me, back when I was working that position, I couldn't at all see that. I thought, what is the purpose of all this and what am I doing? And but looking back, I can see that there was absolutely a purpose to every step along that very convoluted journey.
Yeah, I put up a post the other day, and it was more so about not being afraid to fail. And I've done I think I posted I wanted to be a nurse, I wanted to be a teacher, I wanted to be a hairstylist. I actually went to cosmetology school, and I was horrible. And I tried all of these things, and I'm just if I didn't go down these different roads and figure out who I was, who Alisha was. I've been in a place where I didn't know who I was. I was just a wife, and I was just a mom, and that's where my focus was. I just thought that I should be so many things for so many other people but myself, and people have to be mindful of when you're taking certain roads, what mindset do you have? Why are you going down this road? Are you actually going down a road that leads to your purpose, or are you going down a road that someone else wants you to be? And so I was I can agree. I was I literally, I was laughing about it the other day. I'm I can't believe I went to cosmetology school. I can't believe that I did all of these different things, and I was just all over the place, but I'm grateful for it. And it made me the woman I am today. So, but the destination is still the same.
Absolutely. So I know we've been chatting with our lovely guest for a little while now, which has been so wonderful, but now I get to formally introduce Alisha, which I am just delighted to have this opportunity. Alisha and I met through Instagram, and I was a huge fan of hers, like her page, the episodes that she's been doing on her personal page as well as her business page, where she started a show called Fashion Fridays, which Alisha was kind enough to have me on. And just having that interaction with her, I loved it. And I was like, Stacey, we need to have Alisha on our show. Alisha, you need to be on our show. So we brought her on, and here she is. But obviously, it's not her formal introduction. I just had, we need to give like our love introduction before we get into the formal bio. So, but Alisha Small is of Brooklyn, New York. She's, native is the owner of Keyz Kloset Boutique. And also the Living Fulfilled company. Alisha took her first swing at entrepreneurship in 2016, starting her first service-based business, Dreamer Transportation Services. During that time, while investing in her own personal development, Alisha discovered her passion for other people's personal growth and development. Since then, she has dedicated her time to helping women shift their mindsets, find their purpose, and live their most fulfilled life. So, happy to have Alisha on, and Miss Alisha, I will let you take it from here.
Hi guys, thank you so much for having me, and thank you for the lovely introduction. The sentiments are the same. When I saw the things that you were doing and how you were incorporating personal development in what you do, I said I had to have her on and to talk about that, because that's actually what I'm doing, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that today. I am the owner of and founder of Keyz Kloset Boutique, which is a women's clothing store and brand. And I started Keyz Kloset Boutique last year, 2019 of March. So we just had a first birthday not too long ago. And I remember, actually, Keyz Kloset Boutique was actually supposed to be Marie's Girls Boutique. I have a daughter, my only daughter, and when I gave birth to my daughter, she was like a baby doll, and her and my oldest son are 7 years apart, and so I just started shopping for her, and I'm just like, oh, it's so cool to dress little girls up and take them everywhere. So I wanted to open a children's boutique. And I said, well, no, I wanted to get into women first, because at that time I had my first business, Dreamer Transportation Service, and are we able to cut that out? I'm sorry. I told my daughter to take the house phone. She's like, it's probably my husband. I'm sorry. I didn't know what to do. I'm like, wait,
That's
the house.
okay.
Yeah.
You're fine. We have distractions and things that happen all the time.
Okay. I'm like,
so,
I don't know what to do. I'm sorry.
No worries. You're fine. Keep going.
Okay. So at that time, I was operating my first business, which was a children's transportation service. And we provided transportation to children in public, private, and charter school. And I remember having a business mentor. And he asked me, okay, well, you have this service-based business. What problem are you solving? And I'm just like, okay, I never thought about, even being in business, I never thought about, okay, I knew that I was solving a problem for parents, but he was asking me more so on a deeper level. So when I started Keyz Kloset Boutique, I'm like, okay, I'm competing with so many other boutiques, and I'm actually competing in an arena where, and we live in a day and age where nobody really cares about the why. I wanted to kind of change the narrative on the instant gratification and really take a deep dive into women. I wanted to take a deep dive into fashion and style and how it related to what I was doing. I was investing in my own personal development, and I had just started going to therapy just to develop who I was as a woman. And what I found out was like, okay, I'm the head. Who I am as a woman is going to determine who I am as an entrepreneur, as a mom, as a wife, as a friend, as a sister, all of these other things. It starts with me. And then as I started doing some more research and invested in my own personal development and invested in my own education, I'm like, okay, so this ties directly into fashion and personal style and confidence and feeling in power and purpose and the things that you wear. The things that you wear are directly tied to your confidence and your personality and how you feel even on a particular day. And so how can I bridge the gap? How can I solve the problem of, because as women, I love being a woman. I love dressing up. I love putting on makeup and smelling good and things of that nature. But I felt like we have too many women that, like I said, we live in a day and age of instant gratification, and we like making over the outside, but what about the inside? Right? And I'm like, how can I incorporate that in fashion? How can I change that narrative when a lot of people really don't care, you know, about that? They don't care about the why. They don't care about why they don't feel confident, or why they feel like they can't wear this, or why they feel that they're fearful of wearing this color, or those deeper things. You know, when you get too deep, it's like they want to stay away from that. So, and it kind of put a little fear in me, like, you know, well, and I think that we've all been guilty of that. Well, maybe I should go this way because it would be better. People would gravitate more to it. But then I just decided that that's what's going to set me apart, because I'm bringing light to these things, and I want women not just to look good on the outside, but I want you to feel good on the inside. So what I initially did was I started with a line of motivational shirts, just some things that I felt like women needed to hear, that we doubt ourselves on a daily basis, that we're fearful of as women, and and it was three sayings. It was worthy. I think a lot of things come from us. A lot of things come from us not feeling worthy. We don't feel like we're worthy of certain positions. We don't feel like we're worthy of love and healing and things of this nature. So that was one of the first. The second one was flawed and favored. I think that we put so much on the flawed part. We're all flawed. That's like a human thing, right? Nobody's perfect, but we also need to put the focus on, well, we're all blessed. We're all favored. We all have a purpose. We all have a purpose. We were born with a purpose. We were born to live a certain life. That's what we deserve. And then it's like, as women, we worry about everything. We worry about how we look, how much we weigh, we just worry about so much. So the second one was worry for what? And I wanted to put it out there just to see how people would like it. And they loved it. And we turned into a full-fledged boutique where we started to bring in other things. And then this year, Fashion Fridays was birthed through COVID. And I just wanted to give women, like, just bring a new definition to, like, Ladies Night, where we do talk about all things that women love, but we don't just talk about things that we want to hear. We talk about things that we need to hear, and how just taking a deeper look into fashion and style, and how it ties in to your personal development, because you have a lot of women that they don't know where to start. They're coming out of situations where they may be a new mom and they may have gained a little bit of weight, or I've went through a situation. I've always been a plus size woman, so I've been up and down in weight, and that tied directly into my confidence. It tied right into me not feeling like I was worth even being healthy. And we have women who went through a situation like me, where maybe they're newly married, or they're a certain place in their marriage, and they're all mom and they're all wife, and they just lost who they are as women. All of these topics that are not talked about when you talk about fashion and style and what you wear. It's more so about you. Everything ties back into personal development, and I wanted to talk about these things. And that's how we met, and the reason why I had you on, to give women tips about how to dress for your size, how to focus on the things that you love about your body. I think we all, even if we're the most fit, it's always something that we feel a little self-conscious about. I think that's all women, no matter what they say. We can be women power, and we can be all that, but it's always something that we're a little touchy about. But about mindset. How do we focus on the things that we love? How can we dress around it? How can we even help ourselves as women tackle these things that tie directly into how you present yourself? Because how you go out, how you dress, how you present yourself is a big thing. You are a representation of your brand, or whether you're an entrepreneur or not. These things matter, and that was the whole purpose behind Fashion Fridays, just getting out there and having those necessary conversations with women. And I got so much good feedback. It's like, yeah, I've been in that place, or I'm just coming out of that place where I'm just regaining my confidence, and they don't know where to start. They don't know what pieces they should start with. They don't know. They don't know what colors. They don't know who they are, what fits them as a woman right now. And so I thought that was really necessary.
Yeah, I really appreciate that you're having these conversations with women and asking them, like in our episode, you asked me if there was ever a point where I felt like I lost myself and my identity as an individual. And I think that the fact that you're bringing up that topic with so many women, especially moms, is major. It's so important. And I think that there's all of this pressure on women that as soon as the baby has been like born, you are expected to return to who you were really before the baby, but literally everything about you has changed since then. And so not only, like, even if your body does go back to a similar size or shape as it was before you had the baby, the clothes that you have in your closet probably aren't resonating with you anymore, because you're just not that person. Like, you're just not, like, you're not living that lifestyle because, hello, you have a baby. And I think that that's where a lot of women don't make that association or that connection with, like, why they don't love what they have anymore in their closet. And it's because of that greater inner transformation that's occurred. It's not always about the physical. It's more about what's happening on the inside.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I got so many messages and comments, or saying they don't know where to start. They don't know where to start. Like I said, for me, it was a point where I was all mother, I was all wife. I didn't know who Alisha was. And I just devoted myself to my marriage. And I always say that I was pouring from an empty cup. I was pouring from an empty cup, and I was giving to my children. And then I realized, well, was I really giving to them? Because I really had nothing to give. I was there physically, but I wasn't there mentally. And then when I realized that, okay, you have to get yourself back, because it came to a point where I would just throw on anything and go outside, and I wouldn't do my hair, and I just wouldn't care about things that I should care about. That self-care as a woman, these were things that I didn't care about anymore, because I was more so concerned about the kids' self-care and my husband's self-care and everybody else's self-care except for Alisha. And I didn't have that time to figure out who I was at that point in my life, the woman that I was at the point in my life. And it directly showed through my style and I didn't know. And then when I figured it out, I just did I just threw everything like a garbage bag. I'm just like, I don't like this. I don't like that. And even I was telling you a little bit earlier, like I'm doing, I love Pinterest. I think all women, I'm like, I love Pinterest. And so I'm doing like these boards that even now at 36, I just love rediscovering who I am as a woman. It's like every day I learn something different about myself. And I'm like, oh, you know, I love, not baggy, but like oversized clothes. And I love these rings. And I just was having so much fun looking at these different things and just letting women know, like, it's growing is a lifelong process, and it's okay to rediscover yourself. I think that this is an amazing thing to rediscover yourself every day and be gracious and to treat yourself well. I'm excited about doing some more shopping outside of Keyz Closet and just incorporating those things with the things that we have in the boutique, and just, you know, learning yourself and working on your personal development while looking good at the same time.
Yeah, I love that. And there was so much that was coming up for me as you're talking. And I think the two words that were really resonating most, or two sort of concepts that we're getting at, is like honesty, right? And the deeper questioning, like just asking yourself deeper questioning. I know for me, you know, I'm a new mom, and you know, nobody's body looks as it shouldn't. Nobody's body looks the same after giving birth to a human as it does before, because you just created a human. And I know for me, even I'm only less than 7 weeks postpartum, and I've had so many thoughts of like, oh, my clothes don't fit yet, or my body looks like this, you know, and I'm not happy with that. And I was talking to my therapist, because I go to therapy too, and we were digging underneath that, right? Because I was so annoyed with myself. I'm like, man, like I'm a progressive woman. What the hell is wrong with me? Like, why am I so focused on my body? And underneath that, of course, is like the unworthiness, the lack of compassion for yourself, like all those things that we as women, I think it's a constant dialogue or monologue rather, that's kind of going on in your head. And it does absolutely tie in with fashion or what you're wearing, but it's also like self-talk, right? Like that you're doing to yourself all the time, and can be really harmful, really harmful. And especially as mothers, like it's harmful for yourself, but it's also, you know, what example are you setting for your children or your family also, if you're talking to yourself in that way all the time. And so I think that deeper questioning is so vital for women. And it made me think too, like this is something else that popped up when you talked about Beyonce, you know, a bit ago. And I remember, I think it's maybe going on like 2 years ago, but she was on a Vogue cover, I believe, after she'd had the twins. And she, in the article, talked about having the mom pouch, right? Like in her belly. And I thought to myself, holy shit, like, thank God for this honesty, because like a woman like Beyonce coming out there and saying, you know what? Yes, I'm too struggling with not only just this biological thing that's happening in my body, but, you know, I'm struggling with my identity right now, with my sense of feeling great as a woman. And I think she also mentioned in the article, she was learning to love her mom pouch, right? Learning to love her body as it had been after having two humans come out of it. And I thought, wow, like how amazing. And so what you're doing, Alisha, and the conversations you're having reminds me so much of that. Like that kind of honesty is so important and vital for women, whether you're a mother or not. I think it's just so important. So that's what came up for me.
Side note, Alisha, Stacey just said that you're like Beyonce, which I'm like, that might be the best like compliment any of us could receive. So I think that all of us just need to take a moment and acknowledge the fact that Alisha is doing Beyonce's work, and that's really amazing.
Oh man, you guys just listen. You guys just made it a little bit harder on my husband, and he's gonna be like, "Oh my God!" Now somebody told her she's like Beyonce, so he's gonna hear it. He's gonna hear it like for the rest of the week, like, you know, step off. I'm kind of like Beyonce, so you know. But thank you. I that is an amazing compliment. Thank you so much. I'm just like I said, I just want to work to, and that's what's helping me stay focused and walk confidently in my purpose. Like, I want to know, how can I better serve women? I am an avid advocate for mental health and women empowerment, and just for the progressiveness of women. And that was one of the things. I'm just like, you know, if I'm not just going to sell women clothes and say, hey, this looks good, buy this, and that's easy. However, there is a deeper issue that women have, and like I said, is that we are perfectionists in fixing the outside, and we struggle. I know so many women that I've came in contact with that beautiful, beautiful, beautiful women, breathtaking. I'm just like, my God, as a woman, I love giving I just love being a woman. I love women, and everything. We're so powerful, and but as Stacey was saying, like, that negative self-talk, we don't realize that we're the head and not the tail, and we're so powerful and we're so beautiful. And it's just like, any woman that can hold life in their bellies, in their bodies, a whole other person, have the baby and be back on her talk show, like, and just, we just go back, and we go to our businesses or our jobs or whatever it is that we're doing, and we're raising these children, and we're so strong, but a lot of us don't have the tools necessary to live a life fulfilled. So I didn't feel good just selling clothes. I needed to figure out, and I needed other women to figure out, that who you are as a woman is going to determine what you wear, how you wear it. Why do you think that you can't wear dresses? It's not because you don't like dresses. The thing is that your mindset, you feel that, oh, well, I wouldn't look good in this. And okay, well, maybe it's not that type of dress, but you can wear, like, where does that come from is the why. And I want people to be focused on the why matters. And that shift out of instant gratification, which is just the throwing on the pretty dress or the nice mom jeans and dressing ourselves up. That's the instant gratification. But what about the work that needs to be done outside? Because that's really what makes the clothes. That's really what makes you look good. And so, that's what I've been focused on, and taking my time on, even through the content that I share. I'm very intentional that I get this message out and do the best that I can, helping other women, and changing the narrative at the same time. And so, creating the shirts, wearing the Empower Women, just how we, that's a form of style as well, and self-care. How we communicate with each other. Like, we've been giving each other so much love and so much compliments, and to be honest, and it's unfortunate, that's not like the norm. We're a lot of the times we're like kind of afraid of each other, and in competition, or afraid to give compliments, like, girl, you're bomb, like, you look good, or those goods, or hey, I don't think that looks good on you. Maybe you should put this on. This accentuates this, and just having these normal conversations. I was talking to my best friend Christine, and I'm like, how many women can say that they get on the phone and have conversations about, like, well, why do you feel this way? Why do you feel like you can't put this on? Or why do you feel like you can't wear this? Or let's talk about that. Or, hey, I think you need to go to therapy. Like, and it's just like, I want to make that connection. I want women to heal themselves so that they can be the best version of themselves, so that they can go out and wear it and own it and look good and feel good and all of those things. So, I'm just here serving, doing the work.
Yes, I think you're right about how a lot of women haven't been as outwardly supportive of each other for a long time. I think that there is a little bit of a shift that's occurring there, where we're all like, hold on, like, there's no reason for us to hate each other. Like, why are we doing this? And I know that for myself, like, speaking for myself personally, when I would find myself feeling like, for lack of a better term, like triggered, like looking at someone on Instagram, or like looking at their feed, or looking at a picture, I would stop myself and be like, why why am I feeling this kind of emotion towards them? Like, what is it about me that is making me feel this way? And I noticed a lot of the time it was, the like not feeling worthy, or coming from a lack mindset rather than an abundance mindset, or, issues that I had with my own body. Like, the woman who I was looking at online or wherever I was had nothing to do with that. It was not about her. It was about me. And, sometimes obviously now, like, there are going to be other posts that I come across that will just make me mad because of the content as opposed to the just person that I'm looking at. It's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just emotions that, um, are switched, for us, that are really about us and not about that other person. And now that's something that I'm trying to incorporate more in my conversations with other women too. If I'm talking to somebody and they're putting someone else down, or they're speaking negatively about someone, and it's just because of their appearance, I give them that like little nudge to be like, so why do you feel that way? And they get stuck because they're like, oh shit, like, it's not about them, it's about me. And sometimes it takes them a while to get there. Sometimes they can't respond right away because they aren't there yet. But I think that that's something that a lot of us just need to focus on, like, go inward first. If you're angry, figure out where that's coming from.
Yeah, I think that one of the things that you said, and I'm so happy that you were. I'm so happy that you were actually really honest about that. I'm like big on honesty. Also, going piggybacking off of what Stacey said, like, it's time for us to be like really honest. And I think that I've been so triggered. It's just now that I check myself instead of being upset about how another woman looks, or I'm just like, okay, well, this is a part of me that maybe still isn't healed. And I think that if, as women, we focus on healing and regaining our confidence, it's like a domino effect, kind of like those are the building blocks. So if we focus on our confidence and we focus on our joy and our own inner beauty, then it goes past, fashion and style. Like I said, we're able to give a compliment, and I may see a woman on the street and it doesn't burn me up to say like, you're beautiful, like, I love your hair, or I love your outfit, or where did you get that from? And then on the other end, you have some women that I don't know if you experience this, but you'll say, oh, where did you get that from? And they won't tell. It's just like, I think it's mindset. Everything goes back to mindset. And it's just like, hey, I can tell you where I got this from, because we're both different. And hey, I want to see you look good in it. And I just want women to like, we have these honest conversations, and for them to stop and think like, well, hey, what's going on with me? What's going on with me? And then, like I said, once you figure out as a woman, once you decide, I'll say everything is a choice. Once you decide, like, and I had to ask myself this one day, I'm just like, hey, what type of woman do I want to be? What type of woman do I want to be? And do I possess those qualities and characteristics now? And how do I get there if I don't? And that at that moment, that's when I decided that I was going to go to therapy. And then I decided that I was going to commit to being the best version of myself every day. I was going to commit just to being a good woman, like a good person, like, because that's what you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be a good person. And so that translates everything that I do in business. I want that to translate, through all areas of my life. I want it to come back to the same core. and that's personal development. No matter what business I open up, no matter what I do as an entrepreneur, I wanted to always have that core.
I love that. Well, Alisha, you've brought up so many nuggets of wisdom this whole call, but I'm wondering if there was one question that you would have women ask themselves after this call that kind of like distills down everything you said. What one question do you think they should ask themselves as they move ahead here?
I think that the one question that I would have women think about after watching this episode is, who are you? Who do you want to be? What type of woman do you want to be? Because that's a choice, and you have to decide. Like, who do you want to be? I'll say it again. What type of woman do you want to be? What type of person do you want to be? Do you want to be a woman that, you know, chooses to live off of her pain and her past? Or do you want to be a woman that is constantly growing? You want to have a growth mindset, or you want to be stagnant? You want to be a woman that is focused on her growth and healing and helping other people and servant leadership, or you want to not be held accountable for what you're doing. You want to hold on to old ways of doing things that don't really serve the best version of you. I think that for people in general, but we're just talking about women right now, I think that because we lived a certain way for so long, it's easier for some people to live in pain and in fear. That's what they're used to. But I would encourage all women, if you haven't already decided, ask yourself, what type of person do you want to be? And decide, and then make a commitment to doing everything that's aligned with that type of woman, that destination. You know, we talked about destination before, and doing everything that is aligned with getting to that destination in all of the 5 areas of personal development, and that's spiritual, emotional, mental, physical, and socially, down to the company that you keep. Are they aligned with the woman that you want to be?
Yeah, I think that those are major questions that we all need to take the time to think about, and not just think about it, answer it once and be like, I'm done. Like, I know who I'm gonna be. Okay, see y'all like at the end of it. No, like it's something that you have to really take that time and ask yourself periodically throughout your life, because of all the changes that occur. Like who you want to be as a result of all of your experiences will then change. And then when you have more experiences, that answer is going to change again. And taking that time to have that reflection is really, really important in order to stay aligned with your purpose, in order to be truthful to your own identity. Those are great questions. Thank you. So, Alisha, it has been such a joy chatting with you. I feel so lucky that I got to talk with you like twice in such a short period of time, you know, first on your show and now on ours. So where is the best place, or where are the best places or platforms where people can find you and connect with you?
I am always, and I'm super responsive on social media. My Instagram, which is at Alisha, Alisha Small, Small, and then the little underscore. I'm Alisha Small on Facebook, across all platforms. I'm Alisha Small 33 on Twitter. But I'm super responsive. I love hearing from people. You can slide in my DMs. Just don't be weird though. Like I love to talk and just help in any way possible that I can. My website is being launched in about 2-3 weeks. Also the relaunch of the Keyz Kloset website. So on my bio, I have a link tree If you want to set up a free consultation for coaching, you can do that there as well. But like I said, I love cultivating, meeting new people and cultivating like really healthy relationships and connecting with different people. So I'm all for it. And I look forward to speaking with everyone.
Thank you so much, Alisha. It's been awesome to have you on here. And a lot of it really resonated with me personally as being a new mom and in this time of transition and transformation. So thank you. And I know our listeners will feel the same way. We will connect up all of Alisha's information on the episode page and also on YouTube, so you can find her there and reach out to her. And we will close today with the same quote that we always do, which is from Mary Oliver poem, and that is, "What will you do with your one wild and precious life?" So thank you everybody for being here with us, and we'll see you on the next episode. Take care.
Bye.